Hello. Thanks for clicking on Just Beast Fitness. I'm your trainer Jasper Bravo, and today we are training our back. Today is that day we want to have a wider back. We want to have that V-tape shape, and that one we know always is brought by having a back that is big enough. Sometimes when you have everything else okay, but your back is not big enough, it will always just look weird, because it doesn't make sense to have very huge tree trunks and tree branches, and yet the main stem or the main stalk of the tree is small. It won't make sense. In fact, it doesn't make symmetrical sense. So that's why today we are going to train our back, and as you know, we always do this naturally. We are a natural channel, which means we promote health and longevity at all levels. Of course, if you care about performance and having a great body at the same time, this is the video for you. And we're just going to start right away on this workout. And my back, normally I train it 2 to 3 times in a week, and that has been working for me of late, because right now we know you are in a bulk, and if you are seeing size, that's a good sign. And right now the sign is something that I'm very satisfied with. And today's workout is going to measure on the width of the back, which means we're going to concentrate on the lats rather than the thickness. And we are starting with the warm-up, and we're using our body pull-ups or chin-ups as warm-up set, and we're going to failure. By the way, I know that people say that when you go for warm-up you don't go to failure, but I don't know about you. Maybe you let me know in the comments below if you ever go to failure with your warm-up, or you just do 10 reps then you're done. Personally, I try to go to failure even in my warm-ups, just to make sure that the body knows that we're just about to do the same in the next sets. So that was enough for the warm-up, and we are starting. The first workout is going to be single arm lat pull down, and we're doing this when kneeling, and we use this kneeling technique just to help us get a stability as we stretch, because sometimes you don't stretch your muscle enough because the weight is pulling you forward. But when you put one of your foot forward like this, it helps with the stability, and it allows you even to handle bigger weight. So this is another awesome serious lat workout. This is a workout which is very good for the width of your back, just to make you have that wide width. And today we are going for high reps, which means we are aiming for as high as 30 reps. So you can go, the least we are allowed on this workout is 15. Of course, sometimes we could overestimate the weight and get ourselves as 10, but nothing lower than that. So that was the left side. Now we're doing the right side. We're doing the right side, and we want to match it with the left, so we have to do the same number of reps. We do it with the ones we did on the left, so that's just to allow the body to balance and have that symmetry. So you always have to be keen to make sure that the number of reps you do on one side balances with the other side. I know this one sounds like basic knowledge, but there are many people who make such a mistake, and you could look at it and you think it's a small mistake, but accumulatively that one adds up to a very huge mistake, and that can even lead to you having injury or having a very imbalanced physique. So that is my first set for the workout, and already this workout is always an awesome one because it gives me that stretch, and just with one single set I usually feel already some pump, and I feel like my lats is already super stretched and pumped like crazy, and that is a feeling that I like to feel all the time when I'm working out. Now we're getting to the second set on the same workout, and we've decided to reduce the weight a bit just to allow us to go for really high reps, because remember I told you today we are going for super high reps. Personally, I go for as high as 30 sometimes, because if you didn't know, now you know that you can go as high as 30 reps and you'll still build very awesome muscles. And when you're really interested in body sculpting and having that awesome aesthetic physique, I think you should never ignore going for high reps. It's something that many people ignore. Many people usually just train within a range of 6 to 10 reps, then they think that's enough. But if you've never done this, try also going for the super high reps, and just for a month or two, then you see if there's a progress and you let us know. Personally, I love training for high reps because it helps me the growth of muscle. In fact, personally, I believe so much that the high reps are the ones which are responsible for the growth of my muscle. Of course, there are those days that I go heavy, and that is just for my performance and strength personally. But if I was just training for muscles, just muscles, I can promise you that I could only be doing the high reps. In fact, if I have a client that is only interested in size, I normally just advise them to train in a very high weight, rep range, just to make sure that the weight is, the muscle is hit from a very, very, very high level of intensity, because it's easy to get to failure, by the way, when you're training with heavy weights. But when you're training with the lightweight, you need some real will and mental strength to get to failure, because when you go for high reps, normally you start feeling the ache and the cramping sometimes of the muscle even before you get to failure, and you want to get past that pain and get to a level where now you can't do it anymore. And that is not easy, but it is worth it. It's something that you will get the results that you're looking for if you try doing that. So try to do your reps in a very high rep range, and then you tell me later. And also, when you're going for a high rep, don't go for super high rep like 100 reps or something, but that will now turn into cardio. But I'd rather advise that you go for 30 on the max. 15 to 30 is good. Now going to the second workout, which is going to be close grip lat pull down. And as you know, the reason why we are starting with the lat pull down workout is because this is a season where we are concentrating on the width of the back, and that's why most of our workouts we're going to start with the lat pull downs, just to make sure that we hit that part when we are as fresh as possible, and then we can finish our workout with the thickness and the traps for the well balancing of the whole package of our back. So as far as we are looking for the width, it doesn't mean that we are going to ignore the thickness and the traps. And that's why after this also we have to do a little bit of weights, just to make sure that we concentrate on that focuses on the thickness of the back, to have that full package that we all want to have, you see. So this workout, I'm going to superset it with some pull-ups, and it's not going to be easy because already I got to failure with that weight, and I'm trying to go for at least 5 reps. Those are so that I just hit it well. But I was on this first set, I just managed 4 reps, and I felt it was good enough. What matters is getting to failure and feeling the pump. Now I have to add the weight and continue doing that, just to make sure that I hit that back really well. And then something also I need to advise you about is that if you're looking for the thickness and you work out, but you don't look at diet, your diet is going to be a problem. So as long as you're looking for the thickness or the width of your back, I need you also to look at your diet to try to invest in protein and the quality of protein that you're having. That is, try to eat food that is close to nature, that is animal protein, plant protein, but try your best to avoid the super processed food, because they're not just good for you, number one, and number two, I don't think they help you grow quality muscle. And apart from that also, when you come to the gym, you need that core and raw strength, and that one you can get nowhere apart from having that awesome solid food that is close to nature. So that one is the second set. We still have to superset it with the pull-ups, and that's what's up, just to make sure that we get everything out of that back. Already the back is feeling very pumped, but we have to do it anyway. We have to kill it. Since the first set was difficult, we have decided to reduce the width of the pull-up, just to make sure that we are able to do at least 5 reps. And that is another advice. If you are tired, or if you are learning to do pull-ups and you're not still able to lift your way all the way up, then I think that's one advice that I can give you, is try to reduce the width or the width of the grip, because sometimes when the grip is so wide, it reduces your strength, and that one makes it difficult. And also, if you get yourself in a situation where you have to, pull-ups have become so easy that now you feel that you need to add a little bit of weight on your waist for you to do it, and you don't have an access to a belt for doing that, or to adding the weight, and you still want to feel a challenge when doing the same workout, that is pull-ups, I'd advise, or the chin-ups, I'd advise that you just try to hold the grip wider than you're used to. Let's say you're used to around shoulder width or a little bit beyond shoulder width. I just need you to stretch it a bit further and then try doing pull-ups, and you're going to feel it's going to be more difficult and more taxing. So right now, this is a third workout, and we are supersetting, by the way. We are supersetting it's the standing. This is the standing face pull, and this face pull we are supersetting it with the standing pullovers, or standing stiff arm lat pull down, or straight arms pull down. This is a very awesome workout, by the way, for the back. It also helps you with the width of the back, because it hits the lats really well. And you see the way I do it, like I go all the way down and I'm almost parallel to the ground when I go down. Then when I come up, I shoot my head up just to allow me to squeeze down there. That is the perfect technique you need for this workout. And I swear, if you've been doing it differently and you don't feel any sort of a pump, with this one you are assured, guaranteed 100% you're going to get a pump of your life on the lats, as long as you're ready to engage your lats fully. Because there's a problem also with some people, that people complain to me that when they do this workout, they usually feel their triceps before they get to their lats, and that could be because you're not really engaging your lats enough. I just need you to, when you're doing this workout, you make sure that throughout the movement your lats are engaged, and that is, make sure that they are squeezed throughout the movement, and that one will put triceps out of the movement. But if you relax your lats and you want to still pull this workout, chances are your triceps are going to get engaged. So after doing that, I go straight to doing the face pulls. And somebody could tell me that face pulls are usually meant for rear delts, which is true, but it can also hit your back depending on how you hold the rope. Now, if you hold the rope the way I'm holding it, when the thumb is on your side and facing down, that one you'll realize that you're hitting your upper back more. But if you hold it with the thumb facing away from you, then you'll be hitting the rear delts more. So you just need to twitch those movements, that will help you to change also the parts that you want to hit when you're doing this workout. So we are done with the lat workouts, by the way. Now we are working on the thickness of the back, and we're starting with the bend over row, and this is just a lightweight, by the way. This is like 50, 60, 70. Yeah, this is just 70 kilograms, and we're just going for high reps. That's why we're going for such a low weight. You don't need really you don't need really heavy weights by there to build muscles. As I told you, you can always take the lightweight, then you go for very high reps, and then you squeeze them and control the weight as much as you can, and that will help you with the same mass or not even more compared to somebody who doesn't do the same. So you're supersetting these with some traps workout, and we are using dumbbells for the dumbbell shrugs. And this one is also another beautiful workout to just have that fullness of your back. Some people usually train their backs without training their traps, and that will make you not have a full, well-balanced back. If you want to have a thickness of the back, don't ever ignore your traps. And I repeat, if you want your back to really look thick, don't ever ignore your traps. Train your traps really well. Now we're going to the second set of the same workout, and as I was telling you before, I can be rest assured that majority of you guys concentrate so much on your workout and you forget your diet. And that some people also have this myth, a very stupid bro science, and they think that as long as you are training hard enough, it doesn't matter how junk or shitty the food you are having, you'll still be good. And I can tell you that is not true. In fact, the surest way to derail your gains and progress is by having some shitty diet just after having a very brutal and awesome workout. So don't ever try to out-train a bad diet. In fact, they say that you can never out-train a bad diet. So the best solution to having the best possible body you could ever have is make sure that you look into your diet. Eat food that is not processed, that is, if possible, and try to avoid too much sugar. You see, this over processed food and salt, just avoid those things, and such food will just help you with your growth really well, because when you start eating well, what happens is you'll train better, you'll always recover faster, and you'll always grow better, and that's what matters, and you'll even become stronger. So don't forget about that part. Look into your food really well. Now we're going to T-bar row, another workout for the thickness of the back, and this is a very beautiful workout that I love so much, by the way, because it helps me with the lifting of weight without caring so much about whether the weight is going to drop or not, because as long as the weight is in that position, you just need to lift it up, and that's all. Unlike T-bar, unlike the bar bend over, that you have to hold the weight in position so well for you to do it. Now we are also supersetting it with the shrugs, the dumbbell shrugs, and when you're doing the dumbbell shrugs, I advise that you don't put the dumbbells in front of you, but rather try to put them beside you on your side, because that is when you really engage your traps best, when your arms are wide. And that's why that even when you're doing the bar shrugs, it's always advised that you do it when your arms are wide, not when it's close grip. Now we are going to the next set. The second set, we have decided to add a little bit of weight just to make sure that you get more engagement and challenge the muscle well, because if you don't challenge your body, you will never grow. Where there is no challenge, there is no growth. You have to be challenged for you to get better in every area of your life. So here we've done that, and we are heading direct to shrugs, just to do the same, to have that awesome thickness on the upper back, and to have that awesome width of the back that we all want. So this one also, I'm using 40 kgs if you're asking for the shrugs. I'm just using 40 kilograms because this is the weight that I feel that is challenging enough, and at the same time I can still control it. So it's not too heavy, neither is it too light. It's just good enough. It's challenging because each and every workout should never be easy. Every workout should be difficult, because that's where you grow. So yes, you see how that back looks. That's what we have been working on, and we are still working on the same. We just want that back to be wide, you see, and also thick, because you never know. There's nothing as a strong man with a very strong big back. It always makes you look more aesthetic, and as usual, a big back always makes you look better. That is, your waist looks smaller when you have a bigger back. So yeah, you can see that lat spread. We just want to fill that space that is in between my arms and the lat muscle. So yeah, that's, see that. So far, I don't know how you guys can see this, but I think there's more fullness. We can see more fullness with this bulk that we are going through, and that is a good thing. By the way, that's a good sign. And I can also see, the back is I don't know whether it's because it's pumped today, but it looks better. And of course the shoulders has been doing well too, and the traps too. So you guys can let me know which part you think that needs some work. Personally, right now we are working mainly on the width of the back mainly, and the width also of the shoulders. So that's what we just think that needs more work right now. So I don't know about you guys, but you can let me know what you think with the physique progress so far, and even you can let me know what you think about my progress with the posing, because it's also something that I'm new to, and I'm just trying to get better each and every day. That's why I practice this before I work out and after. And I always like to see my body, how it looks before it's pumped and after it's pumped, because sometimes you can be used to seeing yourself while pumped so much until you forget how you look unpumped, or you can see yourself so often without a pump until you forget how you really look with a pump, how freaky you could get. So I usually think that it's best to do both. Just see yourself and check your body, how you look before and after the pump. So if you liked the video, thank you, and if you subscribed, I'll see you in the next one.